Hi everyone, my name's PK, and here I have Sabi, who is an amazing individual. I always talk about people getting ahead in life through real estate. Sabi is a real case example of someone who's sacrificed. He's working 3 jobs to get his borrowing capacity up. His partner's wife is working 2 jobs to get the borrowing capacity up. Because of their hard work, smart work, I'll say, they bought 2 properties at the start of last year, 2024, and they are up over $300,000 already. He's working in community services. He helps the youth, so it's not like $1 million a year type profession. It's, a good, honest, salary, you could say, but he's making that salary go further using that initial experience from 12 months ago. He's now bought a block of units in New South Wales, which is basically paying for itself with a lot of upside if he goes down the development route or decides to strata title them. He's gone a long way from where he began. He's Bangladeshi from by background, and that's something I'm especially proud of because, as Sabi told me before we hit record, not so many Bangladeshi people go into real estate investing in Australia. And if they do, they normally buy hugely negatively geared properties in their 40s after their own home is almost fully paid off. This is a completely different strategy. He's buying properties that basically pay for themselves, give instant growth, and he's looking to multiply. So, congratulations, Sabbir. I'm really happy to have you on.
Welcome to the Oz Property Investment Mastery Podcast. My name's PK and I help busy people build passive income by buying top 5% growth and cash flow property and build a portfolio using data without wasting months doing research, spending weekends at inspection or catching flights, or dropping $10,000 to $20,000 on buyer's agents every single time. So if you're confused, lack confidence, and just overwhelmed with all the information and marketing misinformation available online and don't know where to start, then this show is for you.
No, I'm a big admirer. Truly speaking, I'm not just saying that to flatter you. I really admire people who are humble and hardworking, and you're a combination of both, and that's why you've achieved what you have so far. Let's just start with with the start, your property background. So I'm not sure how long you and your wife have been in Australia, but like, what has been your real estate background? Let's say before you did the course.
Sure. So PK, we got married in 2018. Then we got PR at the same time, 2018. So we always wanted to buy something like uh, any house or anything like that, as every Australian dream about, have their own home. So basically, we paid deposit for like our current PPOR, and we had actually 2 years time to move in because we are building in Denham Court, and New South Wales. So we are paying we had to pay 20%. So were actually working two jobs that time, and we're just paying as much deposit we could. And by the time we received the key for the house, we almost paid around 30% of the house. And uh, just to let you know, when people listen to music in gym or everything, I used to listen to your podcast. I was a big admirer of your work, and so always wanted to know how I can diversify my portfolio. And when we moved in the house, we saw there's a huge equity after the COVID boom. There's huge equity in our PPOR. So I was just very confused, like what to do with with my equity there. So I used to listen to your podcast, as I mentioned, and I found out like you have like so much good reviews, 5+ reviews. Like, how come this person can have this many good review when, if you even if you go to coffee shop, if people don't smile, they don't give you a good review. So I was very shocked. Then I came to know Nafiz, one of the person. He came to one of your YouTube video. I reached out to him. What do you think about the course? And he said something positive about your course. Then it was in 2020 end, and I didn't still had the confidence if I can do it. Then later last year, I think on 2023, I joined the course, and immediately I joined the course. I bought 2 properties, one in WA, one in Queensland, Yeah. So after that, those two properties actually grew up almost $300,000. So now my plan is to buy the block of unit I shared with you recently. Yeah. So it's in under contract with us, and hopefully we'll get it soon.
Right. Uh, uh, I know I'm diverging off some of the questions that I sent you, those broad questions by email. I hope you don't mind. If you struggle to answer it, it's okay. We can edit this part out. But you mentioned you had equity in your principal place of residence. So did you use that equity to fund the deposit for one or both of your investment properties that you bought 12 months ago that are now up 300K?
Yes, that's what I did.
Right. And so, like, did you use all of the equity, or did you use some equity, some savings to make up the deposits?
No, I just use all equity. It's just cross collateralized, like, 100% loan. I know you're not a big fan of cross collateralization, but for my strategy, I wanted to have cash in my bank. Like, I took 150,000 out and keep it with me. And yeah, just remaining, I'm just buying as what do you call with cross collateralizing with my PPOR.
I see, I see. Just for everyone who's not sure of these terms, equity means the difference between the valuation of your property and how much loan you have on it. And so as a house grows in value, you have more and more equity, which is basically, your net asset. You can have that as potential just sitting in your home, or you can take it out and use it to buy more properties. When you take it out to use it to buy more properties, you can tie those properties to your principal place of residence as a security, and that's what's called cross collateralization, otherwise also known as cross securitization. But you can also take equity out and use it to fund another property or multiple properties without cross securitization. Sometimes to maximize your borrowing capacity, you cross securitization is what you have to do. It's not ideal. I normally recommend not doing it, but there are 1% or 2% of cases where it actually does make sense, provided people understand the risks. And it sounds like, Sabi, you fell into that 1 or 2%, which, I think you understand the pros and cons and you made an intentional decision. That's the most important thing, an educated decision. And therefore, you're able to put no money down in those two investment properties in Townsville and Perth, and they've gone up $300,000. So, I mean, looking back on it, it was a good decision, and I'm glad you went into it with an educated mindset. My next question is, you're not, if I can say so myself, you're not a huge income earner. It's not like you're earning 500K, 600K, 700K a year. Probably not even 250, 350. I don't know. You're a community support or community services worker in the youth space. Oftentimes, people watch or listen to these interviews and they think, PK's got this guy Sabi on. He's just bought two properties, gone up a lot. Now he's bought a block of units for like $700,000, $800,000. Guy must already be a millionaire. Guy must be earning like two, 300, $400,000. Um, my question is, you're a modest on a modest wage, like an honest wage, I like to call it. How were you able to scale your portfolio um, despite just, being a normal income earner?
Um, Thank you, PK. Because I feel like your course gives a clarity what you need to do. I think you mentioned so many times you need to have a good team around you. What's your plans are like a mortgage broker, property manager, and everyone. So for me, like when I intend to do three jobs at a time, my plan was to buy another property, like in 6 months' time. So I had a talk with mortgage broker myself. I mean, as you mentioned, I work in the youth sector. I'm a manager in one company, and I do part time in other two companies, and my wife did actually two jobs in last 6 months. So we had a intention to get another loan and buy another property. As you mentioned, my other two property grew by 300,000. So we actually sit down together. We are not a very big high income earner. all we had just structure you provided in your course and plan what you want to execute. So that's when we sit with the mortgage broker and we had a talk about like, how we can execute this plan. So he mentioned that for us to have certain amount of income for consistent amount of month, which we did for last 6 months. So my wife did 2 jobs, I did 3 jobs. By maintaining, we have now the borrowing capacity of like, $800,000. And for my structure, I feel like, if I be more negatively geared, that won't be suitable for me. That's why I intend to buy this block of unit, which will be paid by him itself. So yeah, you're correct.
Right, right. No, I think there's a saying that easy decisions now, hard life later, hard decisions now, easy life later. So I really love it how, you and your wife sat down, decided to work hard, make those tough decisions because, accumulating these properties, it almost guarantees that at least your financial life is going to be much easier in the future. And so with this block of units, if you don't mind, I know it's under contract. It's yours. I don't think it's settled yet, but I don't want to jinx anything. Touch wood. What are the numbers on it? Like, how much did you buy it for? What will the rent be? And I think most importantly, what is the potential for it? Like, what can you do to those block of units that will make it a cash cow in the future?
Yeah, so when I looked in my like cash flow analysis things you provided in your course, and I felt like I can't afford to have a negatively geared property, so I was looking actively buying the block of unit. The block of unit I got, it has 6 bedroom, and it will be earning around $1,000 $1,030 per week. So after calculating everything, I feel like I don't have to pay anything in my pocket. Maybe there is a maintenance and everything, which is normal for me. Then, as I mentioned earlier, if you go two house behind of that block of unit, there is recently one block of unit which has been sold for 1.9 million. So I'm getting it for around 800,000, and whereas the already one block of units getting sold 1.9 million, and it's near to the beach, and it's a very popular beach. Pretty much everyone knows, and like it's walking distance to the beach in NSW. So I feel like, down the track in 10 years' time, if I have more equity, I can demolish the whole house and yeah, by maybe build some one bedroom unit because it's in R1 zone. So you can do multiple units by itself in the same house without putting in strata title on it. So the current rent is 1,030, and if I put 7 unit there or something like that, which there's another property next to it already doing it, I can it can earn around $4,000 per week, so which will be huge for us. We don't have to buy like multiple properties. We can probably rely on this one, and it will be a cash machine for us, like which the ultimate goal for us to have something in near future.
I love that. No, I love this stacking strategy where you buy and New South Wales is, so many regional locations are now coming on the radar again in terms of data and really tempting and really solid locations again. So I love the stacking strategy, buying in a really good location where demand is outstripping supply. So you're getting the capital growth. Here you've bought this for about 840, and like you said, it's giving more than 1,000 a week in rent. There's, just to clarify, there's 3 units and 2 bedrooms each. That's what you mean by 6 bedrooms. So it's paying for itself. And then the stacking of the strategy where you can, like you said, do a development, 7 units in the future gives 4,000. Of course, they'll be new because you'll have built them. And that's basically, I mean, I don't know. I hope I'm not a greedy person. You certainly don't appear to be a greedy person. Like with your other properties, then this one, 4,000, that makes it about 6,000. Like that's a pretty good retirement. And I'm sure, once you get get more and more success, you probably don't want to slow down too much. I mean, you probably want to add one or two, in a few years' time as well. So that's really all it takes, in terms of leaving your 9 to 5. It doesn't require 10 properties or 20 properties. It's just the right types of properties. And what I really want to acknowledge and educate in everyone who's watching or listening is how strategic you were with this. You could have just gone out with your 800K borrowing capacity and bought two 400K houses, But like you said yourself, with the current interest rates, they would have been a little bit negative cash flow, but you don't want that. You couldn't afford it. You don't want that. And so you pivoted your strategy to a block of units, and that's opened up so many more doors for you. So I think, these are all symptoms of a really educated and intentional investor, which I'm very proud that you are, of course, as a client. My next question is, there's probably going to be, hopefully, a lot of Bangladeshi people watching or listening to this episode. Oftentimes, one thing I'm really happy about is I get a really wide range of ethnicities as clients and that I help, from people from the Middle East, of course, Australians, people from the UK, expats in the US, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnamese, it's New Zealand, Bangladesh people, Bangladeshis, I think are a small, small percentage. I don't know how much. But what can you say to not only motivate, but to actually give tangible tips to people from your own country so that they can get ahead through real estate. I'm not saying to promote my course or anything like that, but I'm sure there's so many people in your community that can achieve what you've achieved, but are like lacking confidence or don't know how to do it, or it's people talk in the ear and say you can't do it. What kind of advice can you give to them?
Yeah, so I feel like it's not that small Bangladeshi community in Sydney. There's a huge though, but for thing is that they don't intend to buy properties until they are 40s or something, like especially investment properties. They will have their PPOR and it will grow by itself, and then they will buy a negatively geared properties. For me, I feel like now people are getting smart. There's lots of data available out there, but you need to be smart enough. When I told so many of people in my country that I spent 6 grand for the course, they were laughing at me like, "Oh, are you serious? It's very expensive." And then they don't realize for both my property I bought last year, I actually negotiated with building and pest and everything. I like got 10,000 back from that already, and that on top of that it grew 300,000. And I didn't wouldn't have the clarity the way you provided your course, the way you outlined the course, step by step guidelines, how to achieve your goal. It's not about that. Also, the mentoring calls you have every week, which is like very big source of knowledge. Like I came on one of the mentoring call last year, and even till now, I watch the mentoring call. So they will have a live update what the property market is doing, so you can make yourself educate. So for me, I would say all my fellow Bangladeshis, I recently can see like many people are joining in your course, but I think it would be good if they don't hesitate like me, because I was listening you from back in 2021. If I would have joined that back then, I could have get 4 market. I could have get Adelaide, Tassie, Perth, and Queensland. Luckily, I got 2 of them anyway. It's never too late. So they still can, get good gains. There's a lot of potential in other region as well. So don't hesitate. Just reach out to PK and yeah, join the course, because I think you will get more clarity. The way you think in buying interested wasn't easy, because when I tell them, like even the property I'm buying in NSW, when I told them like I'm not going to come there, I'm going to do the building and this best inspection, they said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I have 2 other property which I haven't seen, so that should be fine." Because I wouldn't have this confidence if your course didn't provided me and the structure you provided me. So I would say like, yeah, definitely go for the course if you feel like it, and I would highly recommend your course, because it's worth my money. Like best investment I ever had. Like after my graduation, I feel like this is one of the best investment I ever had. I'm a
Um,
big advocate of youth, PK. You don't have any clue, to be honest. Like in my job, I meet so many youth workers, and when I tell them my story, they sometimes get surprised. Then I have to show them from my real estate like app how much it grow. Like 27% up since last sold. So they say, oh, there's a big potential of like capital growth in different region. You don't have to buy in Sydney and Melbourne. There's other region as well which will grow in double digit.
right, right. Oh, thank you for your nice words. One thing I forgot to ask you before, which I think will help a lot of people, is when you finally got news that you had 800K borrowing capacity, after reverse engineering it and working some extra jobs to get there, You said to me before we hit record that you had gone to multiple mortgage brokers, and could you just, spell out what you did to get that borrowing capacity? Because I feel that a lot of people are seeing a mortgage broker. Maybe that mortgage broker isn't that great. Maybe they're just going to one bank. But I feel that a lot of people have the borrowing capacity, but I get told they don't, or they don't have enough. So, like, how many mortgage brokers did you go to? What questions did you ask them? How did this one broker manage to find you more than the other brokers?
So basically, like I went to multiple brokers. So one of the broker when they said like, the current loan I have, I wouldn't be able to get it with my current situation. Then I got very disappointed. Then I realized many people has like, in mortgage broking, they just love to do refinance or maybe first home buyer loan.
Mm.
We don't focus on them. You have to find investment savvy mortgage broker who will work with you. You will be one of the hard client for them, but they would love to take you as a client and get you there, like get you goals accomplished. So I went to 4 5 different broker. Then we sat down. Some of them came with 400,000 and 500,000 borrowing capacity. So I wanted to maximize my borrowing capacity so that I buy something now and hold it later. So we structured the way that I have to do certain amount of income per week, and my wife had to do 2 jobs, like 3 days one, 2 days in another one. If more than one, like more than 2 days, it would be good. But so we structured that way, and we work our way for 6 months. So we showed the bank we have consistent income for 6 months, which bank loves. When they saw our profile, this like they immediately give us 800,000. So from 0 to 800,000, we had to work our way through different mortgage broker and sit
Right.
with them and have a strategic plan what to do.
So it was about showing 6 months of income performance. Um,
That's right.
and did you buy these properties, if you don't mind sharing, did you buy them in your own names or jointly or like in a trust, or what was the structuring?
It's jointly with my wife and my name. So we haven't like touched the trust structure yet because of our strategy. And yeah, so down the track probably we'll go
And
use
then,
trust and we'll buy SMSF.
oh, SMSF too. Yeah, I think this is a really good point. Sometimes people think that trusts are the only way to buy properties or to build a portfolio, but this is not just a cop out. It's true that trusts aren't for everyone. It's not for every strategy. Depends on your income, job, risk appetite. So it really is something that needs to be catered and personalized, that lending strategy. It's not that, oh, I saw a PK interview someone on YouTube, they bought 10 properties and trust, therefore that's the best strategy. I mean, here's an amazing story of your Sabi, and you haven't used trust. So different strokes for different folks. And maybe last question, or second to last question. It sounds like you're a good wife. She's also worked very hard, like you said, 2 jobs to get this borrowing capacity up. Um, was she supportive of you, at the start in terms of, going on this rampage of buying 2 properties in 1 month and like this property investment dream that you had? And I'm sure she was supported. Or how have you worked together? Because it really sounds like both of you have made a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah, she's really supportive, to be honest. Like when I wanted to join your course, like myself wanted to join the course long back, but I was hesitant. But she's like, "Why are you worried about that? Like, you just need to join." And she had confidence on me, like if I join your course, like I will do some good. Because for my own house, I did my own landscaping, so it's a manual work. I did by myself. So she felt like, if I join your course, so she's been supportive throughout the time. And when I intend to buy the properties, like we sit down together, we see our cash flow, how much will be negative. Because if we bought in trust, it will be negative 15,000 or something like that, which we are not as a high income earner. So for us to have like and sit down, and she had to commit 6 month work, like while we have a young kid, 3 years old kids. So it's very big commitment. She was very helpful and supportive towards our goal, and which she did, and we finally achieved the everything, to be honest, like as a property goal. Because if we don't buy next 2 years, we still will be content the property we have at this stage.
Right, right. Well, give her my regards. I'm really happy for both of you. It honestly makes me so happy when, it's just, hardworking people like you put your trust in me. It's a big responsibility in a sense on my shoulders because, it's kind of a life-changing thing. You can get it wrong as well. You've got it right. So I'm incredibly proud of you. And yeah, it can be said that this is why I do what I do. So thank you so much, Sabi. I really appreciate it. Is there any question that I haven't asked you or anything that you'd like to say to the community to help them in any way before we finish it up?
No, I just like to thank you, PK. Like, the things you're doing, because the way you providing the free stuff to people, that is a lot, but they don't understand the much you provide in your course. It's a life changing for us, especially for us to like, we can't work 3 jobs like next 10 years, but we having the property for next 10 years that will actually create our bright future. Like, we can use the capital to pay off our PPOR, or we can diversify, everything we can do. We wouldn't have that opportunity if you wouldn't provide it clearly. And every time I try to reach out to email, you're very responsive, and like, the details you provide each and every email, it surprises me. I get shocked, like, this guy is genuine and he provides effort to his clients, and you look after us all very well. Thank you so much for your work, and I really appreciate and admire you. Like, thank you so much for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much, Sabi. I really appreciate it. I'm very humble talking with you. You have such crystal clarity in what you're doing. And, this is kind of off topic and kind of random, but even like the background, your bookshelf is very clean, very orderly. Everything is neat and tidy. It's a manifestation or a symptom of your own mindset or outlook or consciousness. So I'm very happy to be connected with someone like you. Thank you so much for making time, and thank you everyone for watching or listening. Hopefully, you got a lot of genuine inspiration and vision from listening to Sabi. Honestly, he's an amazing person, and especially if you're a client. I know he already presented in the mentoring call, which is our private weekly mentoring call over Zoom. But make the most of these amazing people like a gem like Sabbir. You can really learn a lot from him and get ahead. Everyone, there's more than 200 of these types of client interviews on my YouTube playlist, client results. I honestly don't care if you do the course or not, but go and listen to them, because when you do connect and resonate with people like Sabi, you yourself, with or without me, will take action and make gains. And that's the most important thing. Hit the subscribe button if you got value, give it a like and share it, especially if you're Bangladeshi. Share it so this message and this achievement can radiate throughout Australian society, and more people can get the type of results Sabi did. Sabi, I'm very grateful to you for making time. Thank you again.
Thank you, PK. Thank you so much.